Scorpio. This will be your special read. Sorry, I can't do it live at the moment. I'd love to chat with you. Okay. So what is it that Scorpio need to know right now? Either you're a Scorpio sun, ascendant, moon. They also say Venus. I think that depends. If love pops up, then for sure. If there is a battle going on, if there's quarreling, then Mars usually shows how we warfare. Of course, taking your sun sign and moon sign into consideration, so it will be, you know, I have Mars, sun, moon in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, ascendant in Cancer. So I just pulled down the curtain and, you know, you can't see me. So that's how I, and you know, so you see the Cancer, they have their own shell. It's like wherever you have your Mars placement Scorpio, it tells a little bit on how you do your warfare, how you quarrel with people, how you know, do the shit. But in the end of the day, Scorpio, they like to have the last say. Of course they do. Even when you're high level Scorpio, if there is very, very hardcore injustice at stake, you'd still go, this ain't good. This ain't good. And then there is this ethical dilemma in regards to take a stand, regards to let things go and make, you know, there are situations where I know personally there are men who should be in jail, women as well, but because, you know, sometimes it's lack of evidence, sometimes it is a pretty rough effort to go through those things. So unless you have a hardcore Aries / Libra in you, sometimes it's fun to just watch karma do what it does. So Scorpio, whenever you see this, I do work with synchronicity based reads. So the way I see it, if people can, many card readers say Venus or Venus, I don't understand how Venus can come out stronger because there's so many quarrels. So if you have Mars in Scorpio, I see that with people who have Mars in Scorpio, even as a Scorpio myself, you know that these people can, you're in for a lifetime when it comes to what they're up to, you know. They like, some of them enjoy that kind of warfare, and I'd say maybe the same with Mars in Aries, depending on the rest of the read, of course, right? So these are some things which will be interesting. I didn't have my astrology deck here, but the card itself, it's the card themselves represent usually one sign and one sign alone. So What is the main subject of the matter for Scorpio now? So there are changing. There goes my English. There are certain things changing. The world is changing. And we have to let certain people and things go. And we have to just understand that, okay, that's just it, right? So you have here the herbal kitchen. And you come up as the alchemist. So basically, what is alchemy? Well, you have external alchemy, make lead into gold and so forth and so forth. Sulfur is something I get up here. Something about sulfur. Maybe I should check that up. And what else do we have? Yeah, I know in the end it's salt. Salt is everything. Crystallization and so forth and so forth. So yeah, you dig my new tablecloth. Find all sorts of really awesome stuff here. Okay, so let's have a look, check out what's going on. We are going to go through the 12 houses. I find it interesting how they put up all the higher arcana here, which could be a cool game to play by putting another card on top of where that, you know, how they would go together. So that could be interesting. Anyway, let's see what's going through Scorpio's 12th house. What is it that Scorpio need to know right now? I got hold of some really beautiful card decks today, and I'm like too psyched. I'm supposed to be ready at 9 o'clock in the morning, and here I am. Yeah, we have all the time in the world. So what is it that Scorpio need to know right now? So you have, oh, that's beautiful, but not so beautiful. It's 10 of Swords. You feel betrayed, Scorpio, by someone. And you feel betrayed, possibly because there is a betrayal. There is a betrayal here. All right. And this one stings, you know. Very often betrayals come from our own. Here we have a quarrel. This quarrel, competition, gecko. Must be pretty big from his house. Let's see, is it a bird? Is it a monkey? No, it's a gecko. Pretty cool, huh? So there is a battle here, maybe of some kind of, you know, I get the word custody. For someone it could be space. This is belong. Second house is all about. Property that belongs to us. Also, it's a very sensible house. Senses and you know, very down to earth in that sense. Having a good second house is everything if you're going to have, you know, this is where we feel safe in that sense that I own that house, and it can, if it's really difficult, this house, you could be a hoarder. The same goes for 4th house. Cancerians, oh, I like that thing, you know, stack the little house full. Taurus also can, you know, if we have many projects. Scorpio also, we hoard. And ravens, oh, bling, that's pretty. I like bring home to the nest and pimp up the nest, right? So here we have 3 of coins in reversed. You feel left out, Scorpio. Some of you feel left out by someone you with the sun here. I'm gonna put them lower down. I'm thinking the cards just the deck is maybe confusing anyway, but you could feel by the people, someone you cherish. I should drop my English maybe. The most, which is, you know, they are our sun. The one you rely on the most. 3 of coins. So you feel left out, and I think you took the battle, but you aren't resting. This is a family struggle, and indeed it's someone that you loved very much, possible for some of you, but you just want the truth to come out, Scorpio, because this is falseness. This something, you know, I feel this is when he shows up, it's very often because injustice happened. So I see that you have, we see you have some kind of project going on. Some kind of project. And you do have the patience. You do show me patience here. And taking one step at a time, piece by piece, you're going there. And also we have the Knight of Coins. So you're moving slowly. You're not in a hurry. You say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna nail this. Whatever it takes. So if this is some kind of profession you have, I see you're trying to take your focus away from whatever battle is going on, or from whatever, because this is the battle of egos, you know, and you know that if I jump down to their level, I'll be just as bad as them. But if I stick to the level I'm on, then I can restrain from that. I can take revenge, you know, revenge by being successful, by being happy, by living a good life. So I don't know if you are in a relationship, Scorpio, but something here doesn't feel quite right. For those of you who are in a relationship, the feminine here could be very arrogant. If you are with a feminine, this, you know, could be a masculine also, but the feminine energy here in this relationship is arrogant, is she could be vindictive, she could be in need of attention, she wants to be on the top, she wants to be noticed by everyone. Look at me, I'm the best. She has this extreme need of being in the center of attention, and she's not quiet, and she doesn't care if thing is fair or not. It's my justice, my way or the highway. And sometimes she can represent the divine feminine who are in a relationship with someone who suppress them into feeling less worthy of the partner that you are with. So, you know, she's usually, this woman is very often from 40 and up, and she could easily feel like, you know, I'm not really good enough for my better half, you know, or whatever relationship, I'm not good enough. So I love these cards. These pictures are so phenomenal. So 8th house here. You have a choice. And the way you move here, Scorpio, the way you move, think about it. A Scorpio looking you right in the eyes, moving towards you with 2 swords, thinking, shall I or shall I not take you down? And that's the transformation, because with that choice, it follows. There is always a following connected to that choice. So do you want to do that? And so you could see her face is in the dark. She haven't made up her mind yet. Shall I take you down with me? Or shall I leave it to the universe? What kind of choices is she up against? Well, we have many choices. We all do. The 8th choice, the 8th house, the choices in the 8th house is, should I submit to the ego? Should I walk into that battle and then postpone the spirit? So now we have 2 twice here. This is the High Priestess, one of my favorite cards. And in the 9th house, higher learning, travels, the house of Jupiter. She's showing up in reverse. There is some kind of lesson she hasn't learned yet. And she's supposed to be quiet, right? She's supposed to be silent. Um, something is bothering her, which is why she's walking, or he, you, is walking back and forward. And you can almost hear the sounds of the swords, right? She's not at ease, clearly. The divine feminine here is not at ease at all. And she knows that if I take action here, which is from the ego, I will fail the mission. Tenth house. Not there. Not there. Seem to be lack of resources in regards to career. Career. I don't know how to say that in English. Career. Karriere. Just do it like that. So for some of you, you're not quite on top yet. You're not really where you want to be. Again, like I said, disease and not disease as in a, but I'm not at ease. I lack. This could also be a lot in the mentality. I lack the proper resources to fulfill this mission, you know. I need my ship. I need my toys to do this mission on Earth. I need the currency. And the dogs by my side, the faithful ones, they ain't there. Nor are my family. Or, you know, there's no one here. So I see you're very lonely. And here you are, King of Cups. In the 11th house, where you're supposed to have a lot of people. Here you are, alone. And you know the gig. But unaware of this choice, completely unaware, because you know, even highly spiritual leaders, they will come up with even more difficult choices to make. The more you evolve, the more difficult choices, right? So here you have a difficult choice. This is King of Cups, this is Scorpio. Something inside of you, maybe from the past, from childhood, a childhood wound. You're trying to hold on to the leftovers of what is left of this life, because there is a big change coming in here now. And the thing is, I see some of you beaten down to the floor by life itself, and the people who, some of the people, I'm not saying all, but there's some of you, maybe they're not by your side. some of you are almost yearning. Scorpio is all about death, right? Very few Scorpio fear death. But we are eternal. But you have a journey ahead of you. Probably a physical one. So you carry a lot of pain and you don't know exactly how to keep yourself above the water. It's like you're pushing something away here, Scorpio. Here we have the moon, and here the dogs are. I feel they are in the underworld, almost like they come from the underworld waiting for you. And you're keeping up a facade, which is very impressive, but it's a burden. The 10 of Wands here. It's a pretty tough burden. Some of you are in a relationship. 2 of Cups. But there is a problem with one of you here, which could explain why some of you feel that you are less worthy. So some of you could be with someone who are a blunt liar, basically. This is not a truth teller. King of Swords in reversed is not someone who will tell you the truth. And why they make you feel as if you are less worthy. But someone here are doing that in such a subtle manner that maybe you haven't connected the dots yet. Because it's easy to think, it's difficult to deceive Scorpio. But I talked earlier today with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius about red flags. And so this guy, he doesn't have to be someone who are screaming and shouting. Usually the most dangerous people are those who are very nice. And yet you can't tell why you feel like you are worth less. So there is a soulmate here, someone you love. It's very clear. If it's a child, maybe you don't have enough resources to support them, or it could be this is where the battle is. Some of you could be battling maybe someone with a strong Capricorn placement, or someone who seek power. And so here we have the battle. For some of you, the battle is regarding a child. Queen of Cups, Queen of Coins, Capricorn. So they could have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant. And this is where the battle ain't fair. This is where you have been betrayed and where you are being deceived. This is 2 different things that you're dealing with, Scorpio. One is the relationship, one is the battle, maybe of custody, or maybe you still have to deal. And I see you know, this could be even hospitalization. And sometimes when we keep up a good facade, you can't see that you're actually torn down. So you're showing up as a very strong alchemist. But something here is difficult to move past. You haven't managed to climb up to the topest mountain yet, but you have the strength of a lion. And you are still moving. You're still moving. Let's find out and see where this is going, Scorpio. So basically the oracle card here says pretty clear: alchemy and magic. So are you know, going to pull the white rabbit out of the hat? It's not exactly what that is about. It's the law of attraction. Many would claim that, no, that's BS. Well, if you don't have the correct ingredients, it's as easy to say that. If I put a postcard on the wall of Milano, I'll end up in Milano in a week. So it's about expectation, your mentality, emotions. It's a chemical process. We attract what we are. So this card literally says hex, meaning witch in Norwegian. A hex is also a spell, bending the reality. This is banishment. You could be banished. It also says here that maybe you have to banish. It's actually, it could be a suggestion that you actually have to banish someone's hex, because people forget that the thoughts and words we send out are all hexes and spells. We send out vibrations all the time. And so when you hurt others, you are malicious towards others, you say hurtful things. You're hexing them also. Because we are connected, all of us, in a web. Doesn't matter where you are in the universe, we are all connected as one being. And if you're going to think about us as like if we are in some kind of simulation, there is a thread between us. Going to have to excuse me for a second. Right, delivery man finally figure out to press pause. That's so embarrassing. Okay, so going back to being a little bit grave here, Scorpio. So in a way, people ask me often, do I have a curse? And I'd say, yeah, we are always in a curse. The answer to many issues are very often yes and no. And I don't say that because I necessarily have the cure, but I have a suggestion. And that is where focus go, energy flow. So very often on the spiritual path, we are asked to not just isolate ourselves, but detach from people and situation. But that's easier said than done if we have put children into the world, or if we are responsible for animals, feeding the fish, and luckily the fish ain't that dramatic. Dogs are, cats are, and yet, you know, it's easier to let go of a betrayal from the cat, as we already know they are what they are, right? Then we expect more of each other as humans. We expect that, okay, I know that this is not a nice thing to do or say, etc. But how come you don't know? Because that's so obvious, right? And still people do things that we should do, which is obvious. So let's see, what is it that Scorpio needs to know right now? So we have Knight of Wands. Someone here are out playing games with you, Scorpio. This is someone who doesn't want to take responsibility for their actions. We have Sagittarius energy, and there is injustice here. Pretty twisted Libra, and this is 10 of Wands. So that's a burden. Yeah, so the sad thing here is that you could be dealing with a child, but there is someone very young here, either young at heart, young at mind. Usually young at heart is not that harmful, but when you're young at mind and you don't have any consciousness about how this action might affect you long term, you don't understand that you're hurting people. The thing is that one day, when it's your turn to go, you will be the one who will have to feel what you put them through, you know. So you can, by true regret is the moment you gain real empathy from what you have done or shouldn't have done, or and etc etc. Unlike, was it Sagittarius that got this pretty, yeah, unlike Sagittarius in this case, you have the chance and opportunity here now to see things from a different, you know, this is a new chance for you to create something very beautiful in your life by simply be the creator, by remembering that you create the reality you're in. But you don't seem too optimistic about it right now, Scorpio. Maybe there is something that is, there is a limitation here. I feel that with that, you know, you're not part of the crew here. I see you're not part of the crew. You're being locked out. So here we have again a child into the mix. So for some of you, you're actually dealing with a child. If not, for those of you who are not, it takes a lot of effort to be happy, to keep that boat floating. And this is exactly what we need right now, is to keep the frequencies as high as possible. However, if there is a child to the mix, an offspring, or these things, it's difficult if they either are taken from you or you're not allowed to see them. We know people have been unaliving themselves for not being allowed to be around their own kids. It's specifically a huge problem in Norway, where the childcare system completely failed people. Its focus is on children, but the Norwegian system have failed completely when it comes to how the adults feel about the situation, where the childcare situation, the childcare system, they are creating a structure, a construct, where they undervalue the importance of what shocks me the most is specifically the mother. And so that's something I know, and also having a brother-in-law who passed away a couple of years back because he wasn't allowed to see his kids, you know. And what does that make the child care department? Starts with the word "and." And they're not being held, they don't take any accountability for this. No one is held responsible for this. So yeah, I can very much resonate with this. And I also know parents who've been calling for help, please help. They're about to give up, you know. They call the system for help. And Norway is supposed to be a country where, you know, everyone stands the ground, everyone, you know, people look up to this country. But there are so many things in that country which is completely messed up. No one is taking responsibility. I have also ended up sick in one of the hospitals there. So that could change depending, you know, but I was lucky to get to choose where I could give birth, and I could say as much as the hospital in Kristiansand versus Arendal, 2 different experiences. So with the hospital where I'm born, this is where people treat certain, you know, that they treat many people like crap, you know, especially if the illness is not something you can see or touch, right? And you are under high alert in that sense that you're done with this life, you ask for help, and the response is, you don't want to live this life. Well, 1, let's take your driver's license. 2, let's call the childcare department. And maybe you're not interested in this life anymore because you're not allowed to see your own child because of injustice, right? And so luckily I get this vibe that this will change, and there is a very loud voice here now that says this will change. And so there are 2 groups of people now. One group you're going to remain in a world where we keep animals caged for doing nothing wrong but being pretty, or they call them pet. So we keep animals in prison. We are moving away from a world where humans think they're free, but are literally full codependent on the system. And if they want to live a life off grid and catch their own food, or let's say we should be allowed to have our own den, our own place to live, but if you don't have enough currency, you don't have the right. And so people go and live in the streets. Well, you can't stay here because we're not allowed to live in the streets. Yes, so this system, as we have seen it, is so messed up. Luckily, there is a new world waiting for some of you. You have to believe it, because if you don't, if you lose hope now in regards to that world, and you just say, okay, if my loved ones doesn't accept me as I am, and they think it is okay to see you on the floor, then let them go, because they still have lessons to learn. Or maybe they are just here to push you in that direction as game players. There are many things that you could be wise on, so many things. They're all theories, you can't really tell for sure. The only thing I know for sure is that everything is based on a frequency, on a specific frequency that there is a word for it. You recently, not recently, but in the past, you went out there to have a new beginning, a better life, maybe free from all this drama. And all of a sudden, so sometimes the body itself can represent your vehicle, the car, Sometimes it can be literal, a car. I don't see a lot of people roaming around in a chariot. It could be your rickshaw or tuk-tuk, it could be your bike, it could be the bus. Usually when they ride like that, it's a victory card. It's usually very fast forward energy, although I don't consider Cancerians as super fast when it comes to running. I'd say Gemini is faster, it's elevated in Gemini. So this burden, it's pretty profound, Scorpio, and you shouldn't let go of those wands. You should keep them. Keep what you have. Good news, however, whatever you're going through right now, Scorpio, you're coming out as the emperor, as the boss. You're going, whatever you do, I know, love, that you're owning up to this. This is an amazing outcome. You've got balls of steel, basically. You're going to own this. And I'm going to be honest with you, there are specific Scorpios that I personally know, just so you know, this really is not for you. And you know exactly who you are. This really is not for you. You're on the other side of the fence, because you already showed me. And what? Why? Well, one simple thing is that when you're being confronted with blunt lies, manipulation, and violence, and you deny it, and you justify violence, and you project this, you're turning the table and project this onto other people. So you could be in the limelight. This really isn't for you. This is for the Scorpios who speak the truth, who are different, who dare to be different, who have the balls to be different, who have the balls to do this, despite the fact that you throw 10 swords at them as soon as they turn around. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there are very, very few Scorpios I take into my life, because there are very few Scorpios who have evolved. If you're attracted to this video by default, if you're attracted to this, you're attracted for a reason. Because most of you can resonate, because you have evolved past the stinger stage. You are in the eagle stage. Or maybe you are even now crumbling, you know. We reach the phoenix stage multiple of times during a lifetime until you know, when you are finally ready to let go of that part. There will always be something left, they say, but if you can tilt with minimum 51% is what they say, but that's what they say, you know. It's not necessarily your truth. But you have to embrace the fact that no one's perfect, and that's our shadow side. And we can own up to that. But if you're going to trash someone for the rest of their life and step all over people based on the fact that you don't like them, and also this will affect children being away from one of their parents. You think that, and now I'm speaking to the child care department as well on behalf of someone who is no longer with us, and other people who is no longer with us, or who live alone. And I spoke to a Scorpio earlier today who's been through the same thing, who knows exactly what kind of pain this is. The question is, especially to the Norwegian child care department, why don't you just shoot them already? Be done with it. Because what you people do, I got one phone call because I'd been gone for 3 months. Do you think I wanted to be gone for 3 months? And so to that specific person, these rules are going so against the 4 amendments of Don Miguel Ruiz. The 4 amendments: don't make assumptions, especially based on what someone else say, which is her say. And so, especially the child care department in Norway, take things, you know, in their own hands without getting a court order first, and just assuming that this is the truth based on what someone else say, who lie, who are aggressive, and they behave. They describe other people in a very negative, within a negative frame, and at the same time that's exactly how they behave, mirroring, right? So here you're coming out as the emperor. You could be another place. The world here is, you know, and it could be on the opposite side of the world, basically. And here you are. Somehow it's very possible that if you're not a Scorpio, or you might be a Scorpio, that you might be confronted by a Scorpio. And he's coming fast forward towards you. And now he's no longer a petty little empress. Now he's an emperor, standing tall. But the divine feminine is now gone because she was not allowed to exist. So he takes his warrior, you know, the masculine, you know, even though, yeah, and the warrior principle usually is depicted as masculine. However, if you see in the animal world, among lions, who does the hunting? Just putting it out there. So, hopes and fears here are the King of Wands. Will they see my fight? Will they see my struggle? Will they understand? Or will they ignore it? Will they arrogantly just look another way and basically just, this is not a big deal? You know, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that we lose people. And because you are an adult, you have zero importance. You're not important. Well, maybe I'm not important to you, maybe she's not important to him, but if there is a child in the mix, you are important to the child. And if the child grows up and thinks that one of the parents have no importance in their life, I beg the differ, they will see in time. And by that time it might be too late. Because a child, especially, you know, a child, either very, very small or a teenager, they don't have the same construct of time that adults have. And now time has changed, literally. Things are spinning much faster. So the outcome here, you might feel a little bit blinded by the situation. I'm not sure you see where you should move out from the situation. Whatever you're juggling, I see the focus here is not on the balls, basically. It's somewhere else. It's not on the coins, you know. So it's time maybe to literally practice Qigong and to understand what is really the construct of that 8 thingy. It's called infinity symbol. 8 thingy. At least you're coming out. You're climbing back to the top, Scorpio. And you're climbing back above whatever Capricorns, which is on your ass, or someone who have dark Capricorn urges, which is basically, I'm on top, I have money, I have power, I'm important. Cage. Yeah, naked people again. So the Lovers here, reversed. Some of you are going to leave a lover or make a decision about leaving someone. You're a naked person. It's not going to finish the karma, however. So, Scorpio, there is a tower moment coming in here. De repente. And it will accelerate your work. It also says, I believe Phoenix Chaos said something about the same thing, that you could overwork yourself. Because this is about another loss. Another loss. Where someone will come in and offer, you know, a shoulder maybe to cry on. But again, it might disalign you with the course you're supposed to take, right? Because of her. And she ain't good. She ain't good at all. She's against justice. She don't like justice. Her justice is whatever served her. And so you have Pluto Mars in one big shock here. And I'm not sure I would start manifesting that reality, but this could be a warning to the other Scorpios, which I do not take into this read, that when the eagles are standing up and they start burning like phoenixes, this is exactly where you might find yourself, because this is where you put them, right? In a for a long time, there is a lot of people who's gotten away with doing a lot of shit towards Scorpio here. And I know for sure some of them are Scorpios, and some of those who are in this game don't see the gravity of that. But you're going to let go. You're going to let go. I see a loss of strength here. But you're going to no longer be deluded by these energies. So in the end here, the thief liars are going to be exposed. You're going to manage to finally detach yourself from that. And so whatever third party or whatever people you've been dealing with, it's going to come to an end, Scorpio. And for those of you in regards to the divine feminine or masculine, you're already together. This is new love. This is now I have more resources. I'm ready to go, travel, and gather all the resources, while a new proposition, maybe also in love, will come in for you, Scorpio. So looks like in the end of the day, the spirit grants, you know, doesn't grant the favor. You know, the wicked here have been warned plenty of time. They have been warned plenty of time, and they are being warned as we speak. Like I said, this read is not for the crawlers. Fire. Passion. So what does Daralanka say? What is, you know, we have spirit and initiation here, you know, so manifestation. tarot cards, guidance. So it's pretty cool. Basically here, what is fire? Usually we consider that to be spirit. So the thing here is simple. The crawlers are going to be hit by fire, and that fire is going to be the passion from the phoenix. So by keep following your highest passion, the crawler's gonna burn. And you don't need any hex or cauldron or those things I like to play with to entertain you a little bit. You don't need any of those things. All you need to do is to not just do the good deed, but to be the good deed. Thank you. Catch you on the flip side.